Hi everybody. Sorry about the glares you see here. My phone's really heavily cracked in the camera area here, so I can't really. You can sort of see me, but at least it's better, relatively decent lighting. I'm hoping I'll have enough time to talk about a story time that happened quite recently, and hopefully it'll make me feel better and, just to vent and to talk to you guys, since the few people that actually watch this tend to, at least I know that they actually like my content, so I'll just keep going. And I do like story time. It's quite a fascinating thing to do for a newbie vlogger like myself, but it helps. So I don't do story times often because it's a little hard for me to talk about and I end up fucking crying or really pissed off. But I'm not here to lay blame on anybody, but it's just something that affected me a lot. Now, granted, this happened last week on like during finals week, that's like the second or third week of December, and I was just kind of waiting for a ride to school, and I ended up walking, sobbing. So now, before I get any further, I am not a hateful person, really. I'm not that negative. I'm actually getting better, but I never mean to inflict anger, disrespectfulness, or negativity or anything on anyone. I'm not that kind of a person. It's just I prefer to be more passive in everything. So I just want to lay that down first. Now, you guys know my issues with my girlfriend's, not my girlfriend's, my cousin's boyfriend. I'm not a big fan of him, but I can just tolerate him. Of course, we're both Scorpios, so we get along and we know how each other tick. And I'm like, yeah, but you're an extrovert and I'm an introvert, so there's a big difference right there. But whatever. Anyway, this usually when my cousin ends up having, or anyone in my family ends up arguing and I can hear it, whether that's from upstairs, down the hall, or right next door, or right in the middle of the dining room, which way they were doing, I usually try to ignore it. But right now I was kind of waiting for responses, so I couldn't really go anywhere. And my bags were right there, and I was kind of just playing on my phone, and all of a sudden they were starting to go at it, and I thought he had come home last night, which he usually does, since he's kind of finally got a job. But all of a sudden, when I got up that morning, my cousin was already up and moving, and looks at my dress, and I was like, "Oh, wonder why she's up? Unless she just wants to get up, or Dwayne's coming over, and she needs to be up so she can take care of her son and everything," which was fine. I was like, "Okay, whatever." And all of a sudden, she was at the table and she looked stressed out or something, and I was like, "Okay, I won't ask. I'll give her some space. I'm a woman also, so I know the feeling of needing space." And all of a sudden, boyfriend comes home, and all of a sudden they started talking. I could literally sense the anger boiling off of him and the tension building in that room. And they were talking about some stuff I'd rather not mention because it's personal stuff for them. And all of a sudden, I was kind of sitting on the couch. I was kind of playing on my phone. And all of a sudden, he said something about, uh, "What about you? Hey, I'm talking to you. Didn't you hear me?" And I kind of looked up because I thought he was talking to Casey or something. And then he's like, "I will yank that phone off your hand if you don't talk to me," or something. I was like, okay. He's coming off already as hostile, so I literally dropped my phone on my lap. And I was listening to him, and he said, "You have a bad attitude here lately. You've been strutting around here and everything and not helping. I don't like coming home to a dirty house and dishes and everything. You did not clean up the mess I asked you to do. And when Casey asked you something, you just walked by and kind of scoffed at her. That's very disrespectful to me. Blah, blah, blah. I'm tired of being a maid for everyone. I'm the only one that's doing dishes around here." And all of a sudden, my mind's kind of more or less a tiny bit right here in that moment. The other half was already disappearing in the back of my mind. And all of a sudden, he brings my girlfriend into it. I'm like, "Motherfucker, you don't need to bring my girlfriend to this. I'm already having a hard time with her not being with me." But it was understandable and it was an agreement we both made, despite both of us being shoved into that situation. But that's another thing for another time. And all of a sudden, he goes off on saying, Sage lied to us about how much she got for a disability, how much she did this, how much she did that. She disrespected me, she disrespected Christine, and she disrespected you. I'm surprised and disappointed in you, Melinda, that you don't see that. And we need to actually talk about what's bugging us, because I feel in you, Melinda, that you have whatever it is inside here. And he was pointing to his chest like a fucking weirdo, and said we need to actually talk about it instead of being angry all the time. I can't take this tension in the room. That's why the only way I can deal with the tension in the room is by getting drunk or getting high. And I'm like, I was really trying not to scream and yell at him back. Yeah, it was so fucking stupid. And then, you know, I was literally on the verge of tears, but I kept staring at him, trying to give him the look of my tears and say, you just, please back off, go away, are you done? And apparently I was going to get a ride. So after he finally finished, Casey was near tears. He kept going back between me and Casey, and I was already on my period, so I was already as emotional as already, and I was literally close to frickin' breaking down. So I was like, nope, fuck it, I'm not going to stay here wait for a ride. So I got up, put my coat on, grabbed my backpack, and left. And then after I finally crossed the street to on that little corner by American Red Cross, I literally just broke down sobbing like I've never fucking sobbed before, and I sobbed literally the whole way to school. I was like, okay, okay, we're on our way to school. Class starts around 10 a.m. or whatever. You need to focus. You can't let them see you cry, or else they'll send you to the stress management department or whatever. So I finally calmed down. I've had like 2 moments literally in school where I had to go to a bathroom and calm down first, and then after at the end of the day, I was like, okay, I'll go to the Native American Center, work on some extra stuff, and just asked if I can spend a few days here. It was the last one of the finals, and I didn't have anything else to do, and I was not going to go home to admit defeat to his drunken wills. And I was hoping to not tell, I'll be honest, to not tell the family about anything. I already told my girlfriend, and she thankfully was on my side. And I finally just ended up telling her and what the best I could remember. Because in situations like this, I tend to just repress a good chunk of it, and probably a good chance in the future that this will affect me later on. But I've never had anyone yell at me like the way he did, and I felt targeted, I felt threatened, I felt really uncomfortable. And since he was a Scorpio, that surprised the hell out of me. I don't know if it was just my hormones or just the fact that I'm such a introverted person that the idea of yelling terrifies me. I literally froze while staring and coming close to tears at the same time. And the only thing I said to him was, I'm fine. And yeah. And then after I finally calmed down after a while, I text Casey, make sure she was okay first. And she said she's okay. And all of a sudden that she was on his side, and that she said he's the only one that's been doing dishes around here, and he felt like he was a maid and blah blah blah. And then I find out later on that he was actually saying that stuff. He took her phone and was pretending to be her, and I'm like, that's a new low, man. That's such a new low. I don't know about these two, but I tried to explain to Casey, I was like, I don't know about you. I shouldn't be saying stuff like this. I may not have a position for it, but I can usually sense when there's something wrong, specifically in relationships. And I sense between those two, there's definitely something wrong. If he wants to go so far as to yell at two women in the room over something that he feels uncomfortable on, and he has to be only intoxicated or high to even talk about it, that's not a manly gesture. That's just an angry child. And I already told Casey, I was like, I know you care about him. I'm glad you've had someone since Steve to be your, to hopefully take care of you, but you guys need to figure something out. I'm moving out. I can't stay there anymore. And I honestly almost expect an apology, but I don't think I'll feel anything after this. So officially, I don't care to talk to James. I don't care to even look at him, message him, or ask for any more fucking rides. I gave him at least, almost 4 or 5 days to calm down, and uh, I thought after I go visit my niece in the group home today, or hopefully Sunday or Saturday sometime, And then I thought I'd go move back, kind of hang out, help with dishes just to make him fucking happy. By that, I'm not talking to him anymore. I'm going to slowly be organizing my stuff again and putting everything else in boxes. And I'm going to be making a firm contact to talk to my brother about his living conditions. If not, I'm still going to try to end up moving out. I need to figure out something because I'm not going to stay in that house anymore. I cannot take it anymore because it doesn't feel like a home anymore. Half of the time we make supper, they sit alone in the table talking on their phone while I sit in the living room eating or yeah, I just can't take it anymore. So that's my story, everybody. Don't worry, I'm doing fine. I'm just still a little tiny bit shaken. Uh, Surprisingly, though, no one has even talked to me to how I feel. And I don't know what happened. The last time I saw him when I went to go grab stuff, like the second day for like a shower or something, he opened the door for me. He turned around and I said, I'm just here to grab stuff. I didn't even say a word to him. And Michelle came down with me and said bye twice, but he totally ignored her. Seems like he was still in a fucking pissy mood. And I was like, that's fine. Whatever, dude. If you don't like me, don't even fucking just. Yeah, no. I'm not going to do anymore. I had enough. I had enough of being yelled at, of being the target for his games and his serious anger that I didn't even cause at all. So, thank you guys for watching. Don't worry, I'm fine. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Uh, I love you. Bye.